Hey guys, what's up? Steve here. It's been a while since I did my last movie review, but I'm back. And I am back at a very good time because this review is for a movie that I've been waiting to see for years. Last night, I was lucky enough to see it. And this movie is The Incredibles 2, directed by Brad Bird and having the voice talents of Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Samuel L. Jackson, and many others. The film continues where the original left off and shows the Parr family adjusting to yet another new way of life, in which Bob stays home and takes care of the kids, while Helen takes a job in crime fighting as an attempt to make superheroes legal again. While I have a soft spot for Pixar films in general, I was a huge fan of the original Incredibles movie. As soon as I heard that this film was coming out, the sequel, I was super excited and couldn't wait for it to be released. But at the same time, I was nervous for a number of reasons. One of the reasons why I was a little bit worried is it's a sequel. And as everybody knows, sequels usually do not even hold a candle to their predecessors. Sequels can be as good as and sometimes better than their predecessors, usually only if the film was planned at the start of the franchise. Like, the person made the first film and planned on making a sequel. Usually if you make a film and then decide, hey, I want to make a sequel, it's usually not going to be as well thought out as the first one because it's usually just a cash grab. But The Incredibles 2 came out 14 years after the original Incredibles film, so I guess the idea of cashing in is kind of low, unless you take into account that there have been a huge amount of superhero movies being made recently. In short, because of that, I was hoping that The Incredibles 2 wasn't trying to be part of that superhero movie canon, or at least I wasn't hoping that it would try to imitate it in some way. After seeing the film, I absolutely had nothing to worry about because The Incredibles 2 is just as good as, if not better than, the original Incredibles film. I had a fantastic time watching it. It was amazing. To say that a Pixar film has beautiful animation and is well put together is usually kind of redundant now, because Pixar has always done a really good job in the animation department. But here, they've really outdone themselves. Brad Bird's direction of this movie is really great, and one of the big reasons why is because the way he put the film together is almost more akin to how you would expect a live-action film to be put together rather than a kid's animated movie. The shot compositions, the lighting, the way the shots are edited together, it's great. Some of the action scenes in this film are so well put together, I'd say some of them are the best ones I've seen in recent years. Not just an animated movie, but even if you take into account live action movies, some of these action scenes are extremely well put together. And just like the first film, this film has particularly good writing. I'd say that the screenplay for this movie in some ways surpasses the screenplay for the original film. There's enough stuff here, and I'm not just talking about funny stuff, which honestly there are some really funny and witty moments in this film, particularly when it comes to Jack's powers, but I'm not just talking about the comedy in terms of the writing. Some of the writing is really cleverly put together and is stuff that will really engage adults when they're watching. But one of the film's biggest strengths, which I kind of alluded to when I was talking about how I was worried when I was hoping that this wouldn't just be another superhero movie cash-in, was that it's not only focused on superhero movie tropes, it's not focused only on doing a parody of superhero movies, it's not only focused on really great mind-blowing action scenes, which there are many of those, but one of the main focuses of the film is the family element. The movie chooses very wisely to focus on this concept that family is important, and there are certain aspects of being part of a family and raising a family and keeping a family together that are in a way even more heroic than somebody fighting crime. And it was also really interesting to see how that role reversal played out between Bob and Helen, where Bob ends up staying home and taking care of the kids, and Helen ends up going out and making the money and fighting crime. There's one issue that I have with this movie, and it's one issue that I've had with a lot of Pixar films in the past. There tends to be a big twist or a big reveal in the film that's totally predictable from the word go. This film has that, and other Pixar films have had that. I'm not going to go into what it is, but I can almost guarantee you'll figure it out just as soon as I did. But compared to how good the rest of the film is, I think that's only a minor issue here. And I think it's only a minor issue with most Pixar films. This one particularly because of how well put together the movie is. I had an absolutely fantastic time watching this one, and I highly recommend you check it out. You will not be disappointed. And another thing that I have to mention is, you know how Pixar films, they always show a short Pixar film in the theater before showing the feature film. The one that they showed in the theater when I went to see is one called Bao, and I have to give a special mention to Bao. I absolutely loved it as well. It's one of those ones that makes you laugh but then almost makes you want to cry, almost like the opening of Up. Bao is excellent as well. So you're basically going to see two great movies here. But seriously, check out The Incredibles 2. It is awesome. Alright guys, that's all for my review of The Incredibles 2. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and have a good night.